This is the story of Jolena, who experienced something unforgettable and scary. Watch till the end and know her darkest secrets. Jolena was the youngest of the three siblings, a bright spark in the heart of the bustling city of London. Her brothers, Nathan and Jack, were the epitome of charm and protection, their love for her palpable in every shared laugh and whispered secret. They were the sun and moon to her stars, always watching over her, ensuring she never knew a moment of fear or doubt. The bond between the trio was unshakable, a force that seemed to illuminate the very air around them. One balmy summer afternoon, Jolena's curiosity got the better of her. She had stumbled upon something she hadn't anticipated, something that would alter the very fabric of their relationship. The memory of it was as vivid as the moment itself, a snapshot in time etched in her mind. The warmth of the day had seeped into their family home, casting a golden hue across the living room where the brothers were engrossed in a film, their laughter and whispers, a gentle symphony that drew her in. Her heart pounding with excitement and the innocence of a teenager, Jolena leapt onto the sofa, landing on both their laps. They had been watching a romantic film, a genre she had only dabbled in through the sly glances of her school friends' secret viewing sessions. The scene had reached its crescendo, and she found her eyes drawn to the passionate embrace on the screen, a strange curiosity blossoming within her. Jack, ever the protective one, playfully shielded her eyes from the intimate scene. His touch was as familiar as breathing, yet it sent an unexpected jolt through her. The room fell silent as she sat up, the weight of her curiosity pressing down on her like a thick fog. She stumbled over her words, trying to shrug off the safety of her room, the door clicking shut behind her like the end of a chapter in a book. In the solitude of her sanctuary, Juliana wrestled with the uncomfortable realization that she had stumbled upon a new facet of herself. Her hand had brushed something unexpected, something that didn't quite fit into the narrative of their innocent camaraderie. The silence was deafening, echoing her racing thoughts. Had she crossed a line? Was this a moment she could simply laugh off? Or had she stumbled into a realm she wasn't quite ready to navigate? Her heart whispered secrets she didn't dare speak aloud, and she found herself questioning everything she knew about her bond with her brothers. Days passed, and the memory remained, a silent specter that hovered at the edges of her consciousness. The house felt smaller, the walls thinner, and every shared glance held a hint of something unspoken. Jolena felt like a tightly coiled spring, desperate for the tension to dissipate. Yet she couldn't ignore the subtle changes in their interactions. The way they looked at her, the gentle touches that lingered a beat too long, the soft whispers that seemed to carry more weight than before. It was as though an invisible thread had been woven into their lives, a thread that bound them in a way she hadn't anticipated. End quote. One evening, unable to bear the silence any longer, Jolena approached her brothers, her voice trembling as she spoke. What happened that day, we can't just pretend it didn't. She trailed off, unable to voice the tumult of emotions swirling within her. Nathan, ever the mediator, took her hand and offered a reassuring smile. Jolena, we were just caught up in the moment. It's okay. We all have our secrets. It's part of growing up. His words hung in the air, a veiled confession that sent a shiver down her spine. Jack nodded in agreement, his eyes reflecting a mix of concern and something else she couldn't quite place. She met his eyes. The conversation grew heavier, the air thick with unspoken words. Jolena felt a strange thrill mingled with fear, the thrill of venturing into the unknown. She knew they were all feeling the pull of this newfound curiosity, a force that seemed to demand acknowledgement, and so they agreed to explore it together, to navigate the murky waters of their newfound desires as a trio, united by a bond that transcended societal norms. It was a decision fraught with potential for pain, but one driven by a love that seemed to know no bounds. The days that followed were a blur of stolen moments and whispered confessions. They treaded carefully, tiptoeing around the boundaries they had shattered. Each touch, each kiss, every shared glance held the power to either heal or destroy. Jolena found herself lost in a whirlwind of passion she had never dared to dream of. Yet, amidst the chaos, she felt a strange sense of belonging. Her brothers were her shelter, her guides in this uncharted territory. And as they lay entwined, the world outside forgotten, she realized that love wasn't always easy, but sometimes it was the only map you had to navigate the darkest of storms. Their secret became a silent pact, a bond that grew stronger with each shared experience. But Jolena couldn't shake the niggling doubt that lurked in the back of her mind. She knew that this path was fraught with peril, that their love could so easily be misunderstood or taken from them. Yet she was powerless against the tide of emotion that crashed against her heart. They had crossed a line, one that could never be uncrossed, and she was afraid of what the future might hold. But for now, in the warm embrace of her brothers, she allowed herself to feel alive, to revel in the love that had always been there, just hidden beneath the surface, waiting to bloom into something both beautiful and terrifying, as long as she chose to let her. The summer stretched out before them, a canvas of endless possibilities. They spent their days in a haze of stolen kisses and gentle caresses, their nights whispering secrets and exploring the depths of their love. The world outside seemed to fade away, leaving only the three of them in their sanctuary of passion and understanding. Jolena felt a sense of belonging she had never known before, a completeness that filled her to the brim. Mache mouth mach. Yet she knew that all good things must come to an end. The whispers of doubt grew louder with each passing day, a reminder that their secret could not stay hidden forever. One evening, as they lay tangled in the aftermath of their love, the sound of their mother's footsteps grew closer. Panic seized Jolena's heart as she realized the door was unlocked. She scrambled to pull away from her brothers, her breath ragged and her skin flushed with the heat of their shared passion. They managed to compose themselves, just as their mother's knock echoed through the room. She poked her head in, her eyes searching their faces for signs of the unspoken. They offered her forced smiles, hoping she wouldn't see the truth written in their eyes. "Jolena, your father and I need to speak with you," she said gently. Jolena felt the blood drain from her face. What had they done? Had they been found out? She nodded, her heart racing as she followed her mother into the living room. Her father sat there, his face etched with concern. "Your brothers have something to tell you," her mother said, her voice laced with a sadness Jolena hadn't heard before. Her stomach dropped as she took a seat, her eyes darting between them. Nathan took a deep breath, his eyes never leaving hers. "We're leaving," he said, his voice barely above a whisper. "We've decided to move out. It's time for us to start our own lives." The words hit her like a sledgehammer, shattering the fragile illusion they had built. She looked to Jack, hoping for some sign that this was a joke, that they weren't really going anywhere. But the pain in his eyes told her the truth. They were leaving, and they were taking the secret with them. The room spun as she tried to process the information. The conversation that followed was a blur, a cacophony of words that made no sense. Jolena felt like she was drowning, the air thick and suffocating. Her parents offered their well wishes, their eyes filled with a knowing that she couldn't face. And as she watched her brothers pack their bags, her heart felt like it was being ripped from her chest. She knew they had to go, that their love could not survive in the cold light of day, but she couldn't help the tears that streamed down her cheeks, the sobs that racked her body. The day they left was like a knife, slicing through the fabric of her life. She stood at the door, her hand in Jack's, watching as the car disappeared down the driveway. The silence was deafening, the house suddenly too big, too empty. Jolena felt the weight of their secret pressing down on her, a burden she now carried alone. The love she had felt so fiercely had transformed into something cold and heavy, a stone in her stomach that she couldn't shake. And so she turned her gaze to the horizon, to the future that lay before her. The memories of those summer days would remain, a bittersweet reminder of the love that had once burned so brightly. She knew she had to move forward, to find her own path in a world that was no longer the same. But as she closed the door on her past, she couldn't help but wonder if she had made the right choice, if the price she had paid for that brief, beautiful summer was too high. The story of Jolena and her brothers was a cautionary tale of love and curiosity, a testament to the power of a bond that had once felt unshakable, now forever changed by the secrets they had shared. Months turned into years, and life marched on, leaving the echoes of their love in the dust. Jolena went to university, threw herself into her studies, and made new friends. Yet, she remained haunted by the specter of her past, the whispers of what might have been. Her heart felt fractured, a delicate web of love and regret that she had learned to navigate with care. She wrote to her brothers, hoping to rebuild the bridge that had once connected them, but their responses were distant, their words laced with a pain that mirrored her own. One rainy afternoon, she received a call that changed everything. It was Jack, his voice shaking with emotion. "Nathan's in trouble," he said, the words cutting through the years of silence. "We need to come together, Jolena." The gravity of his words sent a bolt of fear through her. Without hesitation, she agreed to meet them, the weight of their history heavy on her shoulders. The reunion was fraught with tension, a dance of unspoken words and avoided glances. But as they huddled together, sharing their fears and their love for their troubled brother, Jolena felt a spark of hope. Maybe, just maybe, they could find their way back to the closeness they had once known. The love that had once been a secret had transformed into a bond of protection, a silent promise to stand by each other no matter the cost. The days that followed were a blur of hospital visits and late-night talks. As they faced the storm together, Jolena realized that the line they had crossed had not destroyed them, but had forged a connection that was stronger than she ever could have imagined. They had grown up, learned from their mistakes, and discovered that love wasn't just about passion, but about supporting each other through the darkest of days. For Nist, in the end, it was that love, that unbreakable bond, that saved them all. Through tears and laughter, they healed the wounds of their past, understanding that the love they shared was not a prison, but a lifeline. They vowed to keep their secrets buried, to let the whispers of their youth be lost to time, but the connection between them remained, a silent understanding that no matter where life took them, they would always be family, bound by something more profound than blood. And as the storm passed, and the sun began to shine once more, Jolena knew she had grown stronger from the experience. She had learned the true meaning of love and sacrifice. and that sometimes the most important lessons in life come from the darkest of moments. With her brothers by her side, she faced the future with courage, ready to embrace whatever came next. Their story was not over, but it had taken a new turn, one that would be written with the wisdom of experience and the warmth of a love that had survived the test of time. As they worked together to help Nathan recover, Jolena found that their relationship had evolved. The fiery passion of their youth had been tempered by the trials they had faced, leaving a warm, gentle embrace that filled her with comfort and peace. They were no longer the naive teenagers who had stumbled into the unknown. They were adults, wiser for their experiences. The months turned into years, and as they grew older, they grew apart. Yet, the bond they had formed in those tumultuous summer days remained a constant in their lives. They built their own families, their own lives, but whenever one of them was in need, the others were there, a silent promise that had been forged in the crucible of love and betrayal. Through the births of their children, the heartaches of lost loves, and the inevitable march of time, they remained bound by the secret they had shared. It was a bond that no one else could understand, a secret that was both a burden and a source of strength. And though they never again crossed that line, they knew that the love they had discovered was a part of them, a fundamental aspect of who they were. And so they moved on, each carrying with them the memories of a summer that had changed everything. They had learned that love comes in many forms, and that the most important thing was to cherish it, regardless of how it was packaged. Their story was not one of regret, but of growth, of three souls who had dared to explore the depths of their feelings and had emerged stronger for it. For the next month, each couple found themselves reunited. In the quiet moments, when the world outside had ceased to matter, Jolena would look into the eyes of her brothers and see the reflection of the girl she had once been, and she would smile, knowing that the love they shared was something rare and beautiful, a testament to the enduring power of the human heart. And so, the story of three siblings come to an end.